We are looking at what's been making the headlines in Making the News this morning with Christopher Biggins and Dawn Neeson. And Dawn, we're going to start with a horrid story, front of the Independent, and it's the sort of thing that actually stopped me in my tracks as I was looking through this morning. And this is about, well, frankly, mostly sex abuse within the NHS.
It is horrible. Yeah, this is our it's an 18-month investigation by the Independent newspaper, and they have investigated NHS mental hospitals, trust mental health hospitals, and they have found that there have been, between 2019 and 2023, 20,000 reports of sexual incidents, and that includes 800 rapes, Isabel, of women. They also find that there are still mixed sex wards when that was made illegal a decade ago. It's a very, very damning report on the state of NHS mental health care in this country, certainly residential care.
These chancers, these perverts are absolutely everywhere. I mean, recently, over the past couple of years, I've heard more and more stories of health professionals. I'm talking about dentists, I'm talking about physiotherapists, making inappropriate suggestions to their staff all the time. And they have this godlike complex that they think they can get away with it. And I think they behave in a way that certainly I don't think would be tolerated in other fields. But
I don't know if it's new or if people are getting better at speaking out about it, because when all of this Me Too movement came out, my mum suddenly said to me, oh, when I was in my 20s, I just went to the GP for, I don't know, a sore throat or something, and he groped her.
Yeah.
And she never reported it, told anyone.
I'm going to need you naked to examine your...
And I think there were a lot of people, probably a lot of women, who just kind of didn't know what to say and were so mortified.
A great friend of mine, though, his mother was in hospital and she was 94, and she was raped.
What?
94 years old.
Oh, my God.
And this is about 15 years ago.
Was that by a fellow patient or...?
No, by
a medical professional?
A nurse or a...
And was that case brought?
No, because in those days it didn't happen like that. They didn't believe the patient.
No. Are you safe in a hospital or in a mental institute in this country anymore? Just don't know. Can we talk about the King, Biggins?
Yes.
It's being reported overnight that they've extended his stay at the London clinic. Initially, he was just booked in for 2 nights, and there's been some concern that this could be worrying.
Well, I think it's his prostate he's got in for, and it's not an easy operation, but also it's quite common now. Thankfully, you know, they can find out what you've got very easily if you do the tests, which everybody should do the tests. I've just done it.
Absolutely.
Good for you.
And it's marvellous. It's easy. It's no problem. And once you do it, you find out what's happening, and you can recover well. But he might, you know, he's 76 years old, 75 years old, and so it's not an easy time. And but he's being looked after by Camilla, and he popped in to see Kate because she's in the same hospital.
Yes, that's quite sweet. They should be next door to each other.
They should, shouldn't they? A nice little suite they should have. But I think he's got to take it easy. That's what it is. I mean, I think he's got to take it easy anyway, because being king is not an easy job. I mean, you know, and they're both in their 70s, and they've got to be careful.
Well, Camilla's been saying constantly, you've got to slow down.
Yeah.
You can't count, because he is a bit of a worker. I mean, everyone goes, oh, they're pampered, they're privileged, but it's a 24-hour, 7 days a week job.
It is.
And he is a workaholic, and he just won't stop.
But he's there to serve. He's there to serve. That's what he does.
Yeah.
What do you think about London in general? Islington Council in North London charges electric car drivers extra because their motors are heavier. I just think you can't win here. You think you're doing the right thing, you get an electric car, but then they say to you, but it's heavier, therefore you're going to have to pay a bigger tax because of this. So drivers of heavier cars will have to pay higher parking charges. So they're saying, now, I put it to you, that is not why we have holes in the road. We have holes in the road because of utility companies, because the repairs are really bad, and because of articulated lorries that have taken all the freight off the railways, and deliver all of this around our streets and whatever and bust up our roads. But it's an easy target in this war against motorists.
And I think you're right, Eamonn. It is a war against motorists. You're right. I mean, the fact that a few people are driving heavier cars is nothing to do with the state of our roads. The state of our roads are an appalling state, and we're paying more and more in taxes these days. Where is this money going? But, I mean, there's very much... I mean, I don't even drive, but the war against motorists is getting worse. It's almost impossible to drive in London now.
It is.
Did you ever think of moving out of London, Biggins?
Yeah, we are, funny enough, and we're going to look at a house in Somerset at the weekend.
Well, that'll put the price up, not your pension.
Or lower it.
But, you know, it's interesting, because we have an electric car, and does it say which council is charging?
Well, Islington, this one is, and...
Probably Camden.
Camden.
Let's see, London Council, Lambeth as well.
Because, interestingly enough, if you park in Westminster with an electric car, you can park for 4 hours for £1.60.
Wow.
And you can extend it for another 4 hours and pay another £1.60, so you could be there 8 hours for £3.20, whatever it is. And so they are good. All these things will go eventually because, of course, you know, this is an incentive to people to go out and buy an electric car.
Well, it wouldn't make me buy an electric car with those charges coming your way.
No, I know, exactly.
Plus, they're still very expensive. Most ordinary people can't afford an electric car.
Do you know what I wish they did? I wish they made a charge, or rather, I wish that everybody who came into the M25 would give up their cars and then see how all the councils will have no money left. Because they are supporting all these councils in a huge way.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's very, very bad, I think.
Right, very, very bad. Was Plaza Suite very, very bad last night? You went to a press night.
A gala night.
A gala night. Sarah Jessica Parker stars in this together with her husband Matthew Broderick.
Yes, I mean, it was a very star-studded occasion. I've never seen the whole of the area of the Savoy Hotel was red carpeted. So that was quite something. It didn't rain,
like
thankfully.
A ski slope, probably.
Exactly, it really was. And so that was exciting, and all the photographs were taken, what have you. Oh, there we are, look. People going in front of the...
that looks like James McAvoy, does it?
Is it?
Looks like it, but I...
Yes, it could
Not
be.
your little man from Top Gear.
I don't know. I think that's an A-lister.
Biggins, where are you? Where's
there is some foot. Oh no, that's not me.
No, that's not you either. No.
But anyway, it was interesting. Neil Simon's Plaza Suite, which is a 1968 hit. They did this in America last year or the year before, and it was a great success. Sarah Jessica Parker is fine, very, very good actress. I was on holiday in Mexico some years ago, and we went out to the pool one morning, and there was kiddies' toys. And I said to Neil, oh, let's go across the other side. We don't want to sit next to the kiddies' toys. And
the kiddies.
Well, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, then we realised it was Sarah Jessica Parker's children, and she was there with her husband. So anyway, I thought, oh, what a shame, we could have had a chat with her. But anyway, I was swimming in the pool and with her, and we started a chat. And we were talking about things, and I said, I'm just reading Rupert Everett's new book, Red Carpets and Other Banana Skins, and it's fabulous. She said, oh, I'd like to read that. So when I left the hotel, I gave her the book because I finished it. And I was in New York a year later, and she saw... We met at a club there, a restaurant club, and she said, oh, thank you so much for that book. And I thought, I couldn't believe she remembered.
Wow.
I think she's quite a nice woman.
Of course she didn't. She's an actress.
No.
You don't actually think she read it, do you?
Eamonn.
How did you actually...
you forget
How did you
Biggins?
introduce yourself to Sarah Jessica Parker?
What?
Did you walk up and say, my name's Biggins? Well, how would you say?
In the swimming pool. I think I did, yes. And nearly drowned.
Oh, I bet.
But anyway, they're great, and it's one review with very bad review today. It's got really 4 stars, 5 stars all the way through. And it said they even applauded the set. Well, we used to do that years ago, and the set is fantastic. It's a suite in the hotel, and it's beautiful. And I think quite rightly, designers should.
I mean, it was Neil. Who was it? Neil Simon. Who wrote Plaza Suite?
Neil Simon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So does it stand the test of time? I mean, it's a 70s era type
Yeah,
thing.
it's a little dated, but it's fun, and they make it fun, and they do some wonderful business. especially her. She was terrific, I thought.
But does he get much... I mean, I feel like he's always eclipsed by his wife, Matthew Broderick.
But he's got top billing in this. I wonder if she's been brave enough to actually say, darling, you have top billing. What do you think?
I mean, the headlines and all the pictures are of SJP today.
Well,
so...
exactly.
Yeah. But he's wonderful. If you remember the producers, he was fantastic in that film.
I kind
and
of
play.
wanted to go and see this because it's about, I think it's a 50-something couple who are trying to save their marriage, isn't it?
Yes.
They check into a hotel suite. So that made me want to go and see it for obvious reasons. And then you told me how much it costs.
Yes, £300.
395.
395.
Basically 400.
I think you get something else there. I think you get a night with her.
Oh.
For 395. No.
An audience with.
An audience with.
Than, you know, it's not indecent proposal.
No.
It begins.
No, I mean, it is expensive.
It's pricey, though. It prices out most people, to be perfectly honest.
But it is sold out, and they've extended the run by another 2 weeks. I mean, it's amazing. Where all this money's coming from, heaven knows.
Yeah, well, lucky old you that you got to go.
Yeah, it was
So
great.
tell us about dogs here. Dogs are turning into hellhounds because owners treat them like humans.
Yeah, this is not you and Maggie. I know you love your Maggie. This is basically a new breed of woke owners. The word woke in every story, and they're treating their pets, their dogs, like human children and babies, and it's not good for the dog's baby. Basically, animal behaviourists reckon this soft approach is the reason more bad dogs are on the march because they're treated without... Well, dogs are pack animals. They need to have a leader. And if you're treating it as a baby, dressing it up, putting it in prams, etc., etc...
Not failing to discipline.
Then it's not giving the message to the dog that, you know, you are in charge, and that's why more and more dogs are behaving badly. You know, and it's all right if you've got a cute little teddy bear dog like the one they've used in the paper here, but I wouldn't try, you know, with an XL bully or something like that. That could be messy.
Well, it's natural, isn't it, to baby your pet? I mean, a lot of people sort of... I mean, we've got a little kitten, and if I could count the number of times recently my husband said, he's just a cat, he's not one of our children, but I love him almost as much as my children.
Well, I think that, and that's the other thing, is that people are not having relationships or in a relationship, and they find the next best thing is to have a pet.
Yes, no one to criticise them.
No,
you
exactly.
You have to improve yourself to be in a relationship with a cat or a dog.
And I think you have a great relationship sometimes with your dog.
Yeah.
Isabel, you want to talk about the rail strike?
Oh, yeah, I think we've kind of not talked about this enough, really. I mean, a lot of commuters, whilst we've been on air this morning, will be getting up, looking at the timetables this week and thinking, what on earth? My boss wants me back in the office. This is a nightmare.
Yeah.
So on the days they're not striking, they're working to rule, absolutely no overtime. So today is going to be a reduced service. Tomorrow, full strike. I mean, talk us through what we've got for the next 9 days, Dawn.
I've just completely given up trying to use trains full stop, and a lot of people are. This is the problem. This is the front page of the Daily Mail. It's an exclusive. But the problem here is that even though there are strikes and there works to rule, the rail companies have a duty to provide a requirement to provide at least 40% of normal services. And they're not doing that, Isabel. That's the problem here. Meanwhile, the rail bosses, the chiefs in charge, are still paying themselves huge bonuses for offering us a shoddy service.
Wow.
So not only...
Sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Well,
We hear this
exactly.
time and again.
So not only are the strikes, you know, the workers walking out causing the issues and working to rule, but the bosses running the company are doubling down on it by not providing the service they are legally bound to. And meanwhile, all the ticket prices have gone up.
So the law hasn't worked, basically.
No, it's not working. No.
I do love trains, though. I have to stand up for them. I do think they're rather wonderful. But the other day we went somewhere like Woking, and it was obviously we had to take a train, and the first-class carriage, because I went first class, I know bones about that, and the first-class carriage was full. And I said, as I got in, I said, how many people have paid first class in this? And it was silence.
Oh.
Because none of them had paid first class. Yeah.
Oh, and did anyone
Did they
get up and
upgrade?
No, because they know that there's no guard going on from London to Woking.
Yes.
And they all sat there smirking. But I'm glad I stood up for myself and said...
Did anyone vacate a seat?
No, they did not.
Did anybody know who you were?
Yes.
Of course they did. How did you not be biggins?
He gets some biggins here.
Of course they did.
Thank goodness you didn't get out at my town anyway. That's
No,
my-
exactly.
my
We've
neck
never
of
been
the woods.
asked there.
Sarah Jessica Parker recognised him in his Speedos.
Unforgettable in the
Saying
Budgie
to your husband,
Smugglers.
who's this old buffoon round me now? in the pool game? What about Biggins? What do you make about Rishi Sunak? Today's the start of his fasting day. Well, it was 5 o'clock yesterday. 36 hours he goes until 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. So what do you think about that? He's only allowed to have water or a non-calorie drink like black coffee.
Well, I think it obviously does him good, and he likes it, and he's very fit. It's not for me, I'm afraid, because I
don't know he's very fit.
Well, he
know
loves a Peloton workout to Britney Spears, doesn't he?
yes, and he looks fit. I mean, he's small.
He looks thin, that's what he looks.
Yes, thin. But no, it's not for me. I enjoy my food too much. I mean, this morning when I got up, I had 4 Weetabix.
4?
Yeah.
Do you remember when David Cameron said it's a bit like Weetabix, 2 aren't quite enough, but 3's far too many?
Yeah, that's true.
And he got lambasted for
I'm
that.
afraid I've never found that. I agree with you. 4. Weetabix have got smaller.
They have.
actually
You're right.
never
They
heard of anyone.
have.
I'm actually shocked.
And 4 is Neil shouts at me. What do you want 4 for? I have 2 now and 2 later.
Do you put sugar on them?
No, Canderel.
Oh, right, OK, well, that's quite good then. But
I put honey on mine.
Yeah, that's nice, honey, yeah.
The science behind the fasting diet is it forces your body to burn fat more efficiently.
No, I'm sure it's very good for you. I'm sure that is absolutely
And
the
I think
way.
the benefit of it is that on the days you're not fasting, then you can have your 4 Weetabix guilt-free. You can do whatever you want 5 days a week. And 2 days...
We have our 4 Weetabix anyway. That's not going to stop me.
But you wouldn't need to pay the price for it.
But
You're not paying the price because they're smaller.
I'm not talking about financial price, I'm talking about medical price.
I'm talking about the...
Are you trying to say that we're unfit?
I was just saying, Rishi Sunak is, you know, very slight.
Just be careful what you say, Isabel.
Okay, I'm not attacking you, never. Quick, moving swiftly on. Should we talk about holidays, Biggins? It's much safer ground.
Oh, yes.
40 seconds. 1 in 3 people plan to get away this year, many spending more on a break than in the year before.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, England is, you know, becoming very popular, and there are wonderful places to go in England. And, of course, the trouble is we don't get the weather. However, I've just been on an Aurora ship by P&O, and we were on for 12 days, and we went from Bermuda to New Orleans, and it was great.
Oh, shut up when you go.
The weather.
I met Sarah Jessica Parker in the pool. I'm on the Aurora. I'm in Bermuda.
No, come on. Jealousy is a very bitter thing, honestly.
Right, I'm going to have to have 4 Weetabix. Going to have 6 Weetabix.
Weetabix in it.
Biggins, Dawn, thank you both very, very much indeed.
See you soon.
Good morning, Greg Dewhurst.